In this forecast, a vigorous system will lead to the potential for hazardous severe weather, including the potential for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging wind gusts. Record-breaking heat may also be disrupted by the system, but should continue to hold strong towards the end of the week. Snowfall may even be possible for portions of the northern central plains. Everything you need to know on Project Gladiator. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Project Gladiator Weekly Overlook, and today I'll be covering the weather for the week of February 25th until around March 3rd. Yes, we are going to be going into the March month, and the 1st of March does mark the beginning of meteorological fall, so the weather should begin to start getting quite wacky, and it is definitely going to start getting quite wacky this week. So let's start off with the Jetstream pattern and generally what we are expected to see as far as the weather this week. We are expected to see a quite vigorous trough that I was talking about in the intro, which is going to lead to the potential for severe thunderstorms for a lot of the Midwest and down into the Ohio River Valley, mainly the Midwest into some of the western Ohio River Valley. This is going to be a very compact trough, but a fairly vigorous trough with the exit region potentially getting upwards of 100 miles per hour. So we should definitely see the potential for a tornado to come out of this, as well as the potential for damaging wind gusts and some large hail. Some uncertainty does remain with the risk for severe thunderstorms on the 27th. However, the risks that I did mention previously are fairly certain. We are expected to see that line of severe thunderstorms move into the Ohio River Valley, the Tennessee region, and the northern Dixie states around the 28th. And we may have to watch for the possibility of some snowfall on the back end of that, because it is going to be quite cold, and we may be able to see a snow squall on the back end of that, which may potentially be dangerous. And then we are expected to see that system push off into the Atlantic Ocean on the 29th, leading to some snowfall for the New England corridor. And then we are also expected to see a strong subtropical jet that is going to be left in its wake, which is going to be leading to a lot of rainfall, a lot of heavy rainfall for a lot of the southeast here towards the end of the week into early next week. And then we are also expected to see constant trough advection out of the Pacific, which is going to lead to heavy rainfall and heavy snowfall for a lot of the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies. Taking a look at our composite reflectivity, we're going to be going over the timing for our rainfall or snowfall and the possibility for severe thunderstorms across the US this week. So let's start off with those snowstorms that I said may be possible in the intro. Mainly on the 26th and the 27th, we could see the possibility for a winter storm or two for the northern central plains and the central plains into the northern Midwest there on the 26th and then 27th. And then the risk for severe thunderstorms, the main thing we're going to be watching for this week, is going to happen on the 27th, mainly across the Midwest there into some of the western Ohio River Valley. And then that's going to continue into a lot of the rest of the Ohio River Valley, the Tennessee region, and the northern Dixie states on the 28th, with a little bit of snowfall back behind that, as mentioned previously. And this is going to turn into a little bit more of a damaging wind gust threat, the possibility for hail. We shouldn't really see all much of a tornado risk as this moves into the Tennessee region and the eastern Ohio River Valley, and then that is expected to clear out into the eastern seaboard on the late 28th and into the early 29th, with some snowfall back behind that as it clears out into the Atlantic on the late 29th, and that may even lead to some lake effect snow in the wake of that for a lot of the New England corridor. And then for the rest of the week, in the wake of this system, we are expected to see again that subtropical jet, which is going to lead to the potential for a lot of widespread, very heavy rainfall for a lot of the deep southeast there for almost the majority of the second half of the week. And then we are expected to see almost constant snowfall and almost constant rainfall for a lot of the Pacific Northwest. Before I get into the juicy details, I do want to go over what the temperatures are expected to be like across the US this week and how they are expected to be affected by this system that does blow through. So before the system does blow through for a couple of days before the 27th and even on the 27th, we are expected to see a lot of heat across the United States because we do have a little bit of a high pressure system. It's kind of been sitting here letting heat build a little bit. And that is going to lead to temperatures that are going to be around the 60s and potentially up to the 80s and 90s somewhere in central Texas. The very low 90s are definitely possible for central Texas. However, this is expected to be cleared out by this cold front and make things significantly colder for a lot of the US for into a night or two. However, this is expected to quickly recover across the Central Plains, where we may see temperatures return back into the 60s and 70s really quickly within a day. So the temperatures in the central U.S. should begin to hold steady, but they should be cooled down substantially, and that is going to continue to build for the rest of the week, as we do see temperatures recover even into the eastern United States by the end of the week, that may be able to reach the 60s, and then the Central Plains should be steady around the 70s and may even reach the 80s across some parts of southern Texas. Taking a look at our instability, or in other words, the fuel for severe thunderstorms that we are expected to see across the U.S. this week. Primarily taking a look at the risk for severe thunderstorms, then we'll take a look at the risk for snowfall later on this forecast. Let's take a look at the 27th, where we are expected to see very decent instability, very good instability, very ample instability for the possibility of tornadoes, the potential for large hail, and the potential for damaging wind gusts on the 27th for a lot of the Midwest and western Ohio River Valley. Again, anywhere in this area does have the possibility of the risks I just mentioned. However, as this moves into the 28th, we are expected to see that weaken substantially, as we are expected to see Cape values are going to weaken back down into the mid triple digits, into the low triple digits, which is not nearly going to be enough to fuel the possibility for a tornado, but may be able to fuel the possibility for some damaging wind gusts and maybe some small to medium hail. However, we shouldn't really see all that much of a severe potential as it does move into the Ohio River Valley and the Tennessee region. And then for the risk for rain showers that we are expected to see across the southeast, we aren't expected to see ample instability across the southeast whatsoever. So a lot of those rain showers are going to stay rain showers, and we shouldn't really see anything too severe come out of them. Taking a look at our supercell composite, what this does is it kind of combines everything in the atmosphere to give us a general idea of what the risk for severe thunderstorms may look like. It doesn't give us a percentage or anything, but it does give us a general idea of what the risk for severe thunderstorms may look like and where. So taking a look at our supercell composites for the 27th, we are expected to see very decent supercell composites for a lot of Missouri and Illinois, and potentially back into Indiana as well, potentially getting upwards of 7 to 6. Anywhere that you see in gray does have at least some potential for at least some lightning. However, mainly across the inner circle here that I just circled has the potential for a tornado or two, the potential for damaging wind gusts, and the potential for some large hail. And then we can take a look at the risk for severe thunderstorms as this does move into the rest of the Ohio River Valley and towards Tennessee. Again, we do have at least some potential for some severe-like aspects and the potential for severe thunderstorms. However, notice that the supercell composites have weakened substantially, so overall we do have a much lower risk for the possibility for severe thunderstorms as this moves into the 28th. Taking a look at our energy elasticity index models, what this does is it kind of combines our instability and our shear to give us a general idea of what the risk for tornadoes may look like. Sort of like the supercell composites, it doesn't give us a percentage, so it does give us a general idea of what the tornado risk may look like. Something I do want to note is that we are using GFS models, so they may be somewhat inaccurate of the actual environment and the actual risk for tornadoes, because GFS is used for more long-term forecasting, and we don't have high-resolution models which are a bit better for energy elasticity index. But energy elasticity index is indicating that we do have the possibility for tornadoes across a lot of Illinois and into Missouri, potentially even down into northern Arkansas and even Tennessee, and then back into the western Ohio River Valley. So again, energy elasticity index models do indicate that we have the potential for a tornado risk. Taking a look at the SPC, we're going to be going over what the SPC currently has issued for the risk for severe thunderstorms this week. For today, we aren't expected to see anything as far as severe thunderstorms. Same for tomorrow on the 26th. However, for the 27th, we do currently have a slight risk issued for the regions that I mentioned previously, mainly across the Midwest in the western Ohio River Valley into Indiana, and then into southern Missouri. And then we do have a marginal threat that does extend as far south and as far west as eastern Oklahoma there. So we are still watching for the possibility for severe thunderstorms on the 27th. However, for our day 4 outlook, which is the 28th, we did have a 15%, which was for this area. However, that has since been removed, probably because the risk for severe thunderstorms has overall gone down for the 28th. So we could still see the risk for severe thunderstorms, but overall confidence for severe thunderstorms and overall severe potential has gone down for the 28th, even if storms are still possible. However, for day 5, day 6, day 7, and day 8, we currently don't have anything issued, but what is interesting to note is that day 7, the 3rd of March and the 4th of March currently say predictability too low, so we may have to watch for the potential for severe thunderstorms on the 3rd and the 4th of March. Taking a look at our total snowfall, we are expected to see a lot of heavy snow for a lot of the northwest there because of the amount of trough advection that we are expected to see out of the Pacific as that moves over the mountain range into higher elevations in the northern Rockies. We are expected to see very heavy snowfall for a vast majority of the week. And then we are expected to see those or those potentially 3 winter storms I was talking about lead to some heavy snowfall for some of the northern and even into the central plains there. And then we may even be able to see some lake effect snow. And then on the back end of that line of severe thunderstorms I was talking about, we may be able to see quite a bit of heavy snowfall and a dangerous snow squall line back behind all those rain showers. For a lot of the Ohio River Valley and a lot of the New England corridor. Taking a look at the WPC outlooks for heavy snowfall, keep in mind that we are looking at the potential for snowfall that may be greater than 4 inches. So for today, we are mainly looking at the possibility for very heavy snowfall for a lot of the northern Rockies there, and then that is going to continue for the vast majority of the week. However, for day 3 outlook, which is on the 27th, we are expected to see some heavy snowfall for a lot of the northern central plains and northern Midwest there, as I was mentioning, with those winter storms that may be possible in the northern central plains. And then for our day 4 outlook, which is on the 28th, we may be able to see a lot of heavy snowfall for a lot of the Ohio River Valley behind that line of severe thunderstorms, as I was mentioning, with that dangerous snow squall that may be back behind there. And then that should continue to clear out on the 1st. However, we shouldn't really see anything outside of the Rockies on the 2nd and the 3rd. Before I end the video, I do want to talk about the Gofundme that we have for Project Gladiator real quick. Project Gladiator is for the purpose of designing, developing, and creating an insanely powerful storm-chasing vehicle that would be able to gather information from some of the strongest tornadoes. We're talking upwards of EF5, EF4, and should definitely be able to unlock the secrets of what goes on behind some of the strongest tornadoes and lead to massive meteorological breakthroughs in forecasting the strongest tornadoes. So if you do want to help with the cause, the link for the GoFundMe is in the description. I do want to thank who has donated so far, which is mainly me for the most part. With my sister and also my Aunt Dawn. A lot of the family has mainly donated, including mainly me. So again, if you do want to donate to the cause, we are still very far from our goal. However, it would mean the world to me if you donated. Unfortunately, we don't have a segment from JaxonWX today. However, now that I've told you the weather, please go down to the description and check out the socials for Project Gladiator and join the Discord for any updates on Project Gladiator. If you live in any of the areas I covered for the 27th and the 28th, please stay weather alert for the time being. If you notice anything might have been wrong with this forecast or would like to make a suggestion or ask a question, please leave a comment. I do read them. 3 other channels that I highly suggest you check out are One Nation Weather, Weather Watcher, and JaxonWX. Weather Watcher does make forecast videos for Europe if you are interested in those. And hopefully I'll be able to see you guys on Wednesday with a Wednesday update.